Hi, I'm Ryan Krause.
And I'm Cole Smith.
And this is Nights of the Dark.
We're paranormal investigators. And we research stories all throughout Saskatchewan. We hear about stories of the paranormal and various activities, whether we hear them in person or on the internet. And we go check them out. And we bring you as real a story as we can. And we're not trying to show you anything one way or the other. We're just showing you the reality.
We are paranormal investigators researching stories throughout Saskatchewan.
You'll see exactly what we see. No sound effects, no scary music, and no video effects. Now this story came to me from a lady who is a renowned psychic, and her name is Brenda Witherspoon. I love that name, and that's her real name. She's from Los Angeles, but she works up near the Whitewood area. She has been contacted by the RCMP, and they use her to find bodies as far away as Quebec. This woman is as legit as a psychic gets. What I was told was that this place had a complex, and it was built over 100 years ago, and it had a church, and it had a hall, and a cemetery, various buildings, and a care home. And that care home had some very questionable activities surrounded by it. Nonetheless, some of this was burnt down. This RCMP officer was doing his rounds, and he said that he got there, got out of his car, and he said he was so spooked that he just got in, took off. And she says, this guy is no powder puff. Like, he's tough as nails. RCMP officer, has been around Canada, and this place frightened him. On further investigation, I found some people talking in Whitewood, and they were just astounded by how, the stories and the legends and some of the experiences that they've had. So the legend of St. Hubert, or St. Hubert, as told by Mr. Ryan Krause.
French counts of St. Hubert and one baron from Bavaria. These members of European nobility, 10 in all, including family members, left their homeland while they still had money. A recession in Europe was taking a toll on their fortunes, and the New World was a land of opportunity. In 1884, they established a colony 14 kilometers southwest of Whitewood. It was called St. Hubert. The cornerstone of St. Hubert was a Catholic supercenter, which featured a Gothic church, monastery, care home, hall, cemetery, and several other buildings. Only the cemetery and the church remains today, although the church was rebuilt in the 30s. Things didn't go very well for the counts. Fires, blizzards, insects, an unskilled and unhappy workforce, and just plain bad luck conspired to one failed enterprise after another. At the turn of the century, just before World War I, many of the counts cut their losses and returned home. A few didn't make it back alive. And those that did were forever cursed by one of their patrons. Everlasting curse for your deceit and treason against me. Bloody revenge will be for sure.
So obviously a trip to St. Hubert was in order. So me and Ryan headed out there with our tools, and I'm going to give you a little bit more of a history lesson on the counts. But first of all, we want to show you what we did when we went there to try to find any sort of spiritual residue, so to speak. Many people report a feeling of uneasiness when they go to St. Hubert. I will mention one thing. There are people patrolling the area, so if you plan on going there, don't go there and steal, smash, or ruin anything. There's people on patrol all the time there. You know, you're welcome to go check it out, but just be respectful, you know, and as we were. But now the feeling of uneasiness and the voices and apparitions and things that people report, is there any truth to that? Well, I'll let you talk on that a little later. We may have something here. But the interesting fact is that these counts, they were revered somewhat by the community because, you know, this aristocracy showed up from Europe. They began a bunch of businesses, but they were also held in some sort of contempt because they did have very lavish lifestyles and parties and wild times, so to speak. And then there was some hints of atrocities occurring there at the care home and the monastery, which may result in some bad residual negative feelings there. But now their failed enterprises, I don't think anybody was less prepared for their trip to Canada and business ventures than this gang. And I'll try to truncate this and so it's quick and painless, but one of the first things they did was get into the coffee business. They didn't grow coffee because you can't really grow it here, but they grew chicory, and chicory was something in Europe that was a flavoring. So they got the farmers in the area to grow chicory, and then they would add chicory to the coffee. So they would package the coffee in tins. They had their own shop set up there. But the problem was nobody really liked the chicory, and they added too much, and it was bitter, and it just they ruined their name and reputation. Then they went into sugar beet manufacturing, and of course sugar beet was a good way to process and manufacture sugar. But the byproduct of sugar was alcohol, and the government would not grant them a license to produce sugar beets anymore because of the alcohol, which the government stated they did not want the alcohol to get into the hands of the natives, and the natives were part of their workforce. That's just how prejudiced the system was back in the day. Then they went into cheese. They, you know, being from Europe, they thought they knew how to make cheese, so they before they even went any further, they went and got a whole herd of cows and cattle, and they started making cheese, only to find out that the soil was too acidic, and the cheese had an awful flavor, and nobody liked it. Another business, down the tubes. Brushes, hairbrushes. So they went into the hairbrush manufacturing, as well as wool. So they bought a whole bunch of sheep. What's a herd of sheep called? I said herd, I'm sure there's
Sure, that works.
A swallow of sheep, I have no idea. And mutton, you know, the byproduct of wool. Only to find that there was a huge limited market because there was a huge recession in Europe, and they just weren't selling as much here in Canada. Fires that destroyed their businesses, workplaces, homes. Then it was blizzards. Then it was the weather. It was the rain. It was the workers that they couldn't find enough skilled workers. And the ones that did come eventually sort of turned against them, culminating in the curse. So the ones that could took off and went home, and were never heard from again.
Nothing but misery. So the layout for this was, we went during the day, checked things out, came back at night, and me being, this is personally one of my favorite places we've been to. Can't wait to go back. At nighttime, you know, as we ventured downward underneath the church, distance away, I heard a bang, heard something walking around upstairs, and you know, we kept having weird feelings. I had goosebumps various times. Our equipment kept working, you know, it was like, we'd go 300 minutes, go into the church, the camera would die. Flashlight wouldn't work, then the camera would die again, then the camera would die again. Changed batteries, camera would die again. So we did most of the show with my night vision, which was probably the first time it's going to be featured as the main feature. And yeah, and then I came home, went through all the footage, and found a lot more than I expected, let's just say that. And this is the adventure.
let's
Look at that.
checking 1, 2, and
Check
you
one,
check 2.
check 1, 2, check 1, 2.
Okay, let's sync cameras.
1.4. Look at that.
Okay, and that, I'm just gonna need you to stay out of all the shots, just sort of like you're not there. I know.
I'm picking some high signals up right now.
Look at that.
I had 1.42. It's coming in nice on mine.
Okay, let's have a look there, Ryan.
It's just jumping. It goes from 0 to 0.47.
Yeah, can you spin it around so I can capture it?
There we go.
Okay, well, good. Actually, I don't have to capture it now because you're
Oh yeah.
go to your camera.
Take it offline.
Okay, so
1.47. Why look at that?
what's up?
I got absolutely nothing on this side. Oh, now I do. This side here has more activity than that in the front.
Really?
There's almost nothing going on here until I hit about this area right here.
Look at that door there behind you. Obviously, there was some sort of a stair system. And then there's windows up there.
That or they had really long legs.
For a wintry night, it certainly isn't bad out. So Ryan, come check this out. We managed to find that the door was open,
Oh.
leading to the basement. I didn't know there was a basement.
Yeah, I was looking at the window. The one on the other side. A point of 5. So I guess we're gonna go for a walk.
Let's go.
Since I'm used to basements, I guess I'll start.
Well, I'll be darned.
But it's funner without the lights. Anybody here want to play some bingo? Wow. Holy, 0.92. I don't know if you guys seen that or not. What was that? Nicole, there's something moving here upstairs. When I walked into this room, something was moving upstairs. And there's a doorway over here going up. There's creaks coming from the top of the stairs.
And you know what? My battery's dying.
Are you serious?
Of course.
Would that let us upstairs? Or is there a way into the upstairs?
Yeah, there's a way into the church.
So I don't have to go this way?
No.
Yeah, it sounded like there was something up there, just around this area over here. It sounded like there was like I don't know, that was really weird. I was about to touch the piano keys. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, my battery's dying. Like right off the bat.
Serious?
Oh, it's dead. Look, right off the bat.
There you go.
Yeah, keep recording. Okay, this is showing me 305 minutes, so we'll probably get 15 minutes. Now this baby here, I'm gonna crank this mother. Look at that. That lights are up nice.
The moon in the backdrop.
Yeah. Look at
The door's already open for us. Well, it is.
Yes, it
Actually,
is.
it is.
in anticipation
Not even exaggerating.
of our arrival.
Hi, boys and girls, moms and dads, children of all ages. Oh, is there a bell? You gotta wait in bed. Oh, he's even in upstairs. Oh, that's a little bit creepy. But there's some sound in.
How about leave your microphone downstairs too?
Okay. You'll hear a noise here shortly. That was an unexplained bang.
Yeah, and I wasn't anywhere near there.
No, yeah. And then you heard more rummaging around. That was from upstairs.
Nicole, there's something moving here upstairs.
Watch out. Streak of light.
Where's the light coming from? Is that with you? Yeah. Oh.
And here was during our EVP session. We slowed this one down so you can see it. This thing was insanely fast. But this here first was, we had this area started lighting up. No real reason for it.
We think it's possibly that it's a car coming in the distance and lighting up through the window. You can see it, and then it dies. So scrub that. Start at the beginning of that part, and just show how quick. You know, it takes about a minute, but there it's pretty instantaneous.
Yeah.
And it's square, so I'd say that's probably a window.
And here's some more. This one's so fast we had to slow down a lot.
Can we see that again? Oh, it's right on the side there, right at the bottom, isn't it?
It's right
Oh, it's right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
Oh, yeah. Like a little comet.
Yeah. And then here's more of my energetic friend.
Everything's always more spooky when you slow it down. So let's see that again.
That thing was insanely fast. This ball of light, energy, orb. And this one appears up in the corner as I walk past. You'll see it. There it was, little swoop. This is one of my favorites. And going to the next one. It's just up over here. There it is.
You know, one thing we should mention is that you notice all the bugs that we showed at the beginning. That was taken in the summer, but this investigation was taken in the winter. There was snow on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was not, it was freezing.
Yeah.
It was very cold. So this was not insect weather. and we're going to show you an example of an insect we caught later.
Yeah. Show that again.
Okay, so I'm going to try to zoom in on that one. You know, it's really hard to pick that stuff up here. But, okay, go ahead. Let's see. Yeah, got that.
Yeah, and then you see it flash in the back. And then the last one. Save the best for last. One more time.
Now, the interesting thing is that takes the same trajectory as the last one, except that there's one in the background.
Yeah.
So it's not the same one, but if that was a bug doesn't just randomly take the same path twice.
Yeah.
Now, here's an example of a bug. So we caught this in the summer. Okay, see those? Now slow those down, Ryan. Scrub those. And what we're going to show you is, oh here, I can... This is what a bug looks like, and you'll see that it's elongated, and there's these little ridges, and some people call these phenomena unto themselves. They call them rods. However, what's happening is the bug is actually just this big, but there's not enough space. There's, you know, like even though this isn't film, it still works in the same principle, like a shutter. So this thing's moving so fast that that this speed is blurred. And so what you're seeing is a motion blur as it moves fast. And if you'll notice, the ones that that Ryan caught or found were orb-like.
More like the moon.
More like the moon. So what we saw there, I would say probably wasn't an insect, but...
And flying through furnaces. One thing I would like to mention is amongst the adventure, you'll hear and see about how we had a lot of failure with the camera and the flashlight and the EMF, and after a while we just got frustrated. We didn't think we actually had anything to go on in our 4.5-hour drive, so we just took it for what it was worth, sat downstairs in the dark for about 10-15 minutes. I had a feeling of cold at a few different times. We actually had a thump on the table that was in front of us. None of this, of course, caught on film because well, our film wasn't working. So we took it for what it was worth. And it's definitely an adventure like none other.
Yeah, so if you're going to go to St. Hubert, just be warned of the curse.